And what we have here is a box full of vintage MPC plastic Spaceman. Wow, he's got a helmet. So there's my vintage Brian Peppers figure. The rest of these are to paint, because they're the best deal I could get. I mean, I'm not going to say what I got for them. Those two have complete guns. He's in decent shape too. So we start with these three, and Steve gets to paint vintage MPC Spaceman after all. One of them had a mark on it. I only noticed when working on it as a recast. I have to go through them and figure out which one it is. But one of these actually does have something of a mark on his shoulder. It's not one of these. But there we go. Less than $1 each, which is not what they're worth. They're worth more, at least to me. And I got my Brian Peppers. His blue is kind of funky, but I'm pretty sure he's a vintage concoction. Maybe he's got the mark. Nope. Well, there we go. Maybe Jasper gets one of the pistol guys. Something like that. He's going to get a claw or a hook. And I'm going to start with him and probably give his helmet to another vintage figure. And that's how we roll with it. Right on. So I'm going to get right to it with this one. I don't have a flashlight guy out. But you can see here, comparing the two bottoms, at least it's a very different kind of plastic. This has some flex to it. I will not try to move that arm in a similar manner because it would snap right off. Looks like somebody carved that off with a knife. But it's a different plastic, and I'm intrigued to see how the acrylic adheres to the surface. So, the toughest to get to stick has been black, so I'm just going to try to black this guy over. So the answer is no. Try to the touch, and just running my thumbnail across the surface resulted in that. So he's going to get dunked into a warm bath and scrub clean, and we'll start over with a metallic paint. Actually, I'm going to try to see if the Ultra Cover Satin Clear can help get at least a layer over the black acrylic. Well, sadly, it's not making a real difference. And this is not even trying to scrape it. So he's going to go into a bucket of water while I take a walk. Whoa. And there he is. None the worse for the wear. A couple of flakes I need to pick off yet with a thumbnail, but start them all over again. And I think I'm just going to deck them out silver because I know that will stick to the plastic, or at least I hope it will. This is a different plastic than the recasts were, so its properties, including surface cohesion, will have different attributes, and I'm going to have fun learning them. Alright, so there he is, yellow foil. That guy's getting a new moon terrain. So the one in the middle is a recast. The other two are vintage. Recasts are all going to be in this filing cabinet gray plastic. The originals, primary colors plus a metallic silver and cast in a soft, supple plastic. So here's some of what's happening to these things. There's two of the vintage figures, and I've decided that I wanted to showcase that plastic. What I wanted to think about in terms of the painting was using the paint to frame that 66-year-old plastic. 1963, 1964 was when the form originated. And here in blue is that's one of the recasts from Mexico, made in the 90s. Here's the other vintage guy missing his hand, and I just used a paper clip to give him a very simple hook. But you can see there how tying it in place messed up the painting, and so neither the paint mix used nor the hook are the right solution together. There he is as a recast with the flashlight as complete. You can see the bottom there is gray, and this one is white, since he is a vintage piece. Although it's not going to matter. The target audience of these, I don't think, are space toy collectors. They're Steve Nyland art fans who want a painted Steve Nyland 5.5-inch painting, and they're all pretty badass. There's moon terrain on all of them. Spent a lot of time. I've gone through and reworked the bases on all of them to a degree. They're all paintings. They're not just a slop of stuff anymore. There's been adding and removing and covering things up and bringing things back out. So, I mean, the figures are the canvas. And I'm thinking of these two as sort of the minimalist approach, where you just change it enough so that it's something. I've been thinking about painting their web gear, but I don't know if I have the hand for that right. And by the way, I don't know if you can tell, but this guy had to have some touch up, and I haven't been able to mix the right red yet, so I may have to fill in that whole section like a bib. And I don't want to do that because I want the plastic to be on display. Yeah, just to compare the faces. So there's an attempt at making a flesh color face, which I didn't paint any features on them. That's an iridescent steel. It's a custom blend. I'm just noticing there I'm missing a spot around his collar, and that's a mixture of iridescent copper light with Indian yellow hue, I think it's called, to make a sort of golden astronaut. Let's see where we're going. He's unpainted. Decided to leave his face as is with a vintage helmet for the vintage figure. He's getting a helmet too. I just don't have it here, but that's just plain iridescent silver fine. All by Golden's. Golden's paints. Artist Steve Nyland only uses acrylics and acrylic compounds by Golden Artist Colors. Period.